Hello, CS112. Today I'll be going over the makeup lab for those of you who missed the File I/O lab on November 3rd due to Election Day. So let's just dive right into it. I paraphrase the instructions up here, but I'm just going to read off the input text because this is what you need right here to visualize what is expected of you. So this input file is what you were given on the PDF. The first row is guaranteed to be your header, which is just a bunch of letters. But after that, the first number in your next line is guaranteed to be a penny, followed by a nickel, followed by a dime, followed by a quarter, and you are only going to have 4 of these numbers. Of the 4 numbers, you need to sum them up, and in your return, or not return, you're not returning anything, but the file you're writing to, you should return the sum of each row. So 1 penny plus 1 nickel plus 1 dime equals 41 cents. You're going to keep that as a float and concatenate it with a $sign and do the same for the rest of them. And then you also need to add all these up at the end and return the total dollar amount of every type of coin on this text file. So I'm going to take a rather obscure approach to this using a nested for loop, but just to show you guys some formatting stuff, and I want to have some fun with it. But pretty much, I can already tell based on my algorithm, I'm going to need a temporary variable to keep track of these guys that will reset within my for loop, and a total variable that I do not want to reset in my for loop. So like my other File I/O video, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my input file, which is that, and I'm going to read from it. Next, I'm going to create an output variable and just open up output.txt. and W. And as a refresher, if this file does not exist in my directory, right now my directory only has my input.txt and my code file, this will be created. I'm going to write to it. First thing I'm going to do is imp.readLine. What this is going to do is it's going to get rid, it's sort of a cheap way to get rid of this first line right here. I know a lot of you guys were checking like, oh, if is digit, all that stuff, but there's no need to. Let's just do read line and get rid of that first line. We're not doing anything with it since we're guaranteed at the location of the pennies and all that stuff. I'm going to set coins equal to imp.readLines. What this does is it's going to make every single line of remaining lines in imp, which is just the numbers, into an element and a list. So now it's a list of 3 elements, which each of the lines being an element. And last but not least, I'm going to create another coinage. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it. Another variable called coinage, which is a list, because I want a 2-dimensional list to work with here. For I and coins, this is how I'm creating my 2-dimensional list, guys. I'm going to do coinage.append. And let's append I, because I right now is every element, which is going to be a line. I'm going to append I.split. You guys can do this, by the way. You can append something while splitting it. So I want to get rid of the commas because they don't mean anything to my calculations. Now let's go ahead and let's print out coinage and see what I got, what I'm working with here. So I'm going to run that. And yes, I have everything I want. I have all the, I have a 2-dimensional list where every element is now separated out and I can begin my calculations. So like I said before, I'm going to need a total money or some sort of total variable to keep track of the total and a temporary variable within my for loop to keep track of everything else. So for I, in coinage, let's just say that should be good enough. I'm going to initialize my temp variable within here so it resets every time. And I'm going to do for j in I'm going to say range length I, because I actually do want to find their index out. So I'm just going to say if j is equal to 0, because we're always guaranteed pennies are going to be very first element there. I'm just going to say plus equals 0.01 times, I need to pass it to a float because right now it's a string and that'll give me a syntax error. ij should be, yeah it is, it should be. It's going to be the actual individual elements. So my terminal went away, but if you remember, it's going to be, let's try running this again real quick. It's going to be this guy right here. It's going to be every one of these numbers. Right now it's saying total money is not defined because I just wrote total money up here without doing anything, and it happens. That type of stuff happens. Okay, so now I'm going to copy and paste this bad boy several times because I'm too lazy to type it, and my computer has betrayed me with the formatting. I have to fix it. Okay. Now the only difference is we are going to have to change this to 1, and when it's at index 1, it's the next biggest thing, which is, what is that, a nickel? Yeah. And then you have 2, which is a dime, and you have index 3, the fourth coin, which is a quarter. Now this is simply just going to multiply the value of the cents of by how many there are. So, for instance, even if you get, let's say in this case you have 0 pennies, it will be 0.01 times 0, which equals 0. So temp will not be getting affected at all, which is perfect. Now, where do I want to store my variables? I want to do it right after this for loop is done. I'm going to say, let's say, I'm going to write to my new file. Output write, let's write temp. I'm going to have to cast it to a string though. So let's see where that's gotten me so far. So I'm going to hit run. And total money is not defined. That's fun. That's fun. Total money. Oh, so yeah, that's from before. It ran now. No syntax errors. My output is looking pretty saucy, if I say so myself. And that is because what I need to do, what I need to fix is I need to do a new line because I want everything on a new line. Pretty sure I could have done this on one line, but it's too late for that. So I'm going to run it again. That looks more like it. And yeah, I think that's those are the proper numbers. Of course, there's a Python rounding error going on here, perhaps, or you really should just be rounding this to 2 because this is money, but I'm just not going to do that right now. So another thing we need to do is keep track of our total money, right, guys? And so we're going to do that by temp. Every iteration, total money is going to keep track of the temp, which was the total amount in every line of your input file. Before it gets set back to 0, so we can return the total at the bottom, like we're supposed to. Okay, now let's see if my total money is working. Excuse me, losing my voice. Okay, what is going on? So I need to write the string version of total money. See that bad boy right there, no syntax errors, and that's my total. Okay, now all that's left to do is make it look pretty. So I'm going to add a $sign, or actually here I need to say total with a colon and then a $sign plus that. And then I'm also going to have to do that stuff up here, right here. I'm going to do a $sign. That's not a $sign. Plus string. Now let's run that. And it looks almost identical besides the rounding, which I'm not going to do. So yeah, this was a sort of obscure algorithm to doing this. I just wanted to show you guys a couple things with appending while splitting, all that jazz, all this stuff, when to use this versus this. And also, again, this will create the file if it's not in your directory. I can literally name it anything I want. So let's say bananas. Let's say that spells bananas. When I hit run, boom, bananas pops up. Let's say soccer. Boom, new file created. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy your break. This was a very inefficient way to solve this, but I just wanted to play around with it a bit and have some fun.